Hello, this is Marxist, and Frack, who I did a demo review of earlier, has requested that I make a short little guide to Pushing Snakewater Last. So, I'll go over a couple different strats that I've used. I will note that the server I'm in right now is pretty laggy, and I'm also recording in a different resolution to keep my frame rate reasonably high while I play, but there's going to be some delay due to the lag. But anyways, so we're going to assume a couple different cases, and we'll do some different stuff with that. The most important thing about Snakewater Last is if the enemy team has Uber, you have to get a pick. So I'll go over a rough guide of how to get those picks now. Okay, so obviously the easiest way to, or the most popular way of getting said picks is to run a sniper. You need to properly protect your sniper, so the easiest way to do that is to have him, if he's going to snipe from this left doorway, there'll be a medic with him about here healing him, and a scout or the roaming soldier watching him. And then you'll have your pocket and demo stay over here, and the spare player, either the roamer or the scout, watching lower. You can just do it like this if you'd rather not expose yourself to danger. And the way you snipe this point is you just zoom in on some object and then slowly just peek around. Because you don't need a medic pick, you just need a pick. And so you just make sure you're okay to peek out. If there's nothing here, you hide again. Sorry, like I said, the server's a little laggy. And then you start going for the glory picks. And usually, in America anyways, the med will stand back here. So that's a pretty solid angle. Or you can get a demo man or anything like that you so desire. But the important thing is you just scope in, walk out, boom, vini vidi vici. If that angle isn't working for you because they've got something going on down there, you can... It's also important that your sniper remain as hidden as possible, because teams will tend to bunker up if they know you're running a sniper. So having him hide is to your advantage. So avoid him being seen. The easiest way to do that is to have him go up this way. And they might not see him that well. Or if you just have him sneak in kind of this way. And that's not so bad. Sniping from lower can work as well. And, you know, the way you do that is you just stare at this doorway until your dot's full, and then you go straight for the glory pick, which will probably be right about there in America. And those are really your only two options as sniper. I mean, unless you can get way in here or something, but that would just be absurd. Of course, the other way you could go is spy, and pretty much under European rule set where you can't run the cloak and dagger, you would disguise as an enemy scout or something, cloak here, and then run and hope that this ammo pack is still here and nobody notices you take it, and then you try and uncloak somewhere away from them, and then you could probably get in this way if they're over here. Or if they're over here, you could just uncloak back here and run across the ramp. And then give him the stabby stab that way. That's one way to do it. Spy isn't that bad of an option. Plus, if you're just, you know, looking for ways to do stuff and you're willing to bunker down, you know, that's another way to do it. Because we're just looking at getting picks to get some kind of advantage on. If you're going spy, you're pretty much going to want to sell out and go for really big picks. A heavy, an engineer, medic, demo man. A less used, but I think still quite viable option is also in pyro. The way you would do that is you would just dry push off of him, and you would try to figure out which side their combo's on. So either left or right, you know, have a scout figure that out. If they're on the right, then you would just, you know, have him peek this door, blow the stickies, and then he'd use the rest of his ammo to just corral them, you know, as deep or as well as he could as people get on the point. He could also swing over and blow stickies away. And the main thing you're doing there is you're just using the pyro to keep them away. He may need to take some of the Uber in order to do that. You could do the same thing from the left side pretty effectively. If they're, you know, they're holding around here, sometimes there's a soldier right there, blow him away, blow that idiot away, and then just corral these people as so. So you're just using the pyro to blow people away from the point while your scout or scouts run on the point and attempt to cap it as quickly as possible. It can work. It's pretty risky because your pyro may die in a trap like right off the bat, and you really don't want to Uber him because he can't do very much. But it's an option to try or something to throw at a team to see how they respond. And of course, your last option, and certainly one of the more popular ones in America, is to run a Fat Man. And what I typically have Fat Men do is you just come down here and hide. And your team will Uber in like normal. You know, find out where the combo is, whether they're right or left. And that way the heavy will kind of know generally what he's shooting at. And then once all the Ubers are over, somebody calls that and says, hey guys, their Uber's over, get in. And then your heavy just pops around here and pretty much just slow rolls to the point. And your med will, you know, he's healing somebody here or he's over there, you know, popping their combo or whatever. And then he just scurries on back down to the heavy man, who should have crit seals because they probably won't notice him right away. Another thing I like to do is have a scout or somebody, maybe a demo, it doesn't really matter. Somebody down here to go through in front of the heavy, and they're just looking around and making sure that he's not going to take really early damage when he comes in because you want him to get crit sealed. And then everybody, the reason heavy works is he doesn't have to reload. And everybody, because of during that Uber fight, is going to shoot a lot of their ammo away. Especially, you know, maybe Demo Man, the soldiers, yada yada. And Heavy's going to come in with 450 health, very difficult to kill, while he's being healed. And also, he doesn't have to reload and just shreds people. And he'll just slowly go to the point. That can work quite well, but now I'm going to go over some more, you know, pushing technique type stuff. Okay, so we're assuming that they're on the right here to start. You'll have your pocket, your demo, a scout, your roamer will be over here, and the other player down here. This is presuming that either A, you've gotten a pick, or you're using a heavy. And the heavy is just down here hiding. Or here hiding. And they are holding the right side. You pretty much want to push in to whichever way their combo is. You're going to want to pop Uber pretty much right here, because there's usually going to be a trap, you know, all over the ground here. So you're going to have to pop right away. The soldier needs to not jump anywhere. The biggest mistake you can make as a player when you're coming across this sticky trap line is to jump, because it's going to throw you, you know, 10,000 feet behind. So just stay on the ground. It'll bounce you a little bit, and then you're fine. And then you rocket jump, you know, onto them and get the Uber pop. Once the Uber's popped from the pocket, he's just going to jump away somewhere. Jumping up here works. Jumping up onto the shack works. Sometimes jumping onto the truck works. Just try and deal as much damage as you can to anybody who isn't Ubered. so that you have to pull their medic down into the valley and not have him sitting, here or on top where he can effectively do his job. Make sure he needs to try and chase people that are hurt. You have your demo come in a little later, and he just chills back here. The reason why he's just chilling is because he doesn't want to get so close that your medic has to turn around and Uber him again. Because you're probably going to have to Uber him drag him through this door, because it's probably maybe still going to be trapped in some regard. And he's just going to stay back there and establish a sort of presence, shooting people, get the pocket to come at him, and then, maybe he could drop down and start sticking the point as a scout suicides on it or something. This last scout will run by the medic, get an Uber, and then, gets healed to 185 and start killing stuff, or die on the point. If you're running a heavy, it's pretty much his job or the pocket's job to sack, in my mind anyways. And then your roamer is just going to go up there or stay back there, and he's just going to spam rockets until he feels like it's safe for him to jump. Or if there's a bunch of people over here on the right for whatever reason, then he can just jump into them and try and delay them as much as possible from getting on your heavy, who's going to roll up down here and win the game. Another option is, say they're left. You go with virtually the same arrangement. If you're not running a heavy and you're going on a pick, you're stuck with your spy or sniper class. We're still assuming that they have Uber. And what you'll do there is, virtually the same thing, except for your pocket needs to be careful to check for traps, bucket, ceiling, and floor, and then go through, and then he'll jump on him, and the demo will just hang back here with this scout protector buddy. He doesn't really need any of the Uber. You spam him, spam as much as you can, lock out the point, scout dies on the point, med jumps down, heals heavy, win game. In that alignment, I'd like to see the roamer come out, like maybe spam from drop down or come out of there, or try and come out of the shutter kind of late because it might be trapped. So that's one more option. And then there's, I call the all-in lower push. Absolutely everyone on the whole team goes lower. And what you do is you have your roamer come out first because he's sacrificial. Make sure that this isn't trapped up. And then he's going to jump the combo with his Uber. I can't rocket jump because my ping's too high. I'm uploading a YouTube video. And he'll get the pop out. Your pocket jumps the shack early. And you just have your medic wait down here with the demo. And then your heavy, comes in and you behave just as before. And scout runs on the point and dies. But that can be somewhat effective, because it's going to bait their whole team down into this valley when it's just your demo, and then the heavy rolls around the corner and kills everything. And so now we're, that's all assuming that they also have Uber. You can play advantages here pretty well. Crits can work too. You're pretty much going to have to crits from lower or from the left side door. And in that case, you're just going to try and hit their combo with your first sticky. You've got to get their combo, or at least get 2 or 3 people. If you're in a slow push situation, which I define as having 2-man advantage, and it's a significant one for a while. So say you just capped second, all 6 of your people survived, and they just lost 2 people, particularly if it's the medic. You just want to slow push in this way. You have your roamer jump deep into their back left side. He'll jump again if nobody is there on top of the point or so. You'll have your pocket push around this way along with your demo, and you leave a scout back here to watch this gap and this gap. And that way you just make sure your medic is safe from any flankers. because if you lose your medic on a slow push, that's really bad for you. And then you just get on, you have your other scout just get on the point. And you can win pretty easily that way. It's actually, in my opinion, the easiest way to push Snakewater Last is if they've done a poor job of defending second and lost a bunch of people. Just slow push it in. You got to be quick about it. You got to hand out as many buffs as you can, kind of manically, and then get your team out here. The important thing is that all the heavy classes, your soldiers and demos, gravitate towards this side, getting over here as quickly as they can, and then your scout watches, your backs essentially, and make sure that and that aren't covered, or because most teams are going to try and flood you from this side, and this scout's gonna, he's gonna die, but he'll delay them enough so that your heavies have all gotten on the point. And then your demo's sticked up, and they can't get on, and you win the game. Those are basically what we tend to go with in America. The same thing would apply for crits, where you would bomb in a soldier as if you were going for a force or something like that, and that just distracts them and makes them run around, and then you peek out, blah blah blah. You have your soldier here waiting, and that way if anybody jumps you or rushes you, you just turn around, flash the pocket, boom, it's dead, and then you roll to the point. You would use the same concept as a slow push if you've gotten enough picks with your crits to proceed. You don't necessarily have to get the medic, but it's certainly quite helpful because he might get Uber. Now I'll go over the sort of last strat that you can use, and it's a 4-man suicide. So you buff both soldiers, or the roaming soldier, both scouts, and a demo. It can also be effective if you've got someone running a spy off class, because there's going to be a lot of distraction. So you pretty much want to pick whichever door is the most uncontested. So a lot of teams might have just the roamer here, or maybe it might be really easy to get in lower. And then you have all 4 of your guys jump their medic as aggressively as they can and die. And as soon as you get done handing out your buffs, you in the pocket, there's another way to do this that I'll go over. You in the pocket, just walk back here, and you can hide, depending on how risky you want to be. You can take your medigun off and hold out your syringes and hide with your pocket right here. And then wait for them to get on the point. And then you come around with your Uber and kill everybody. If you're a little bit more skittish, you can hold back here. Or if you really want to test yourself... Okay, come on, lagginess. It's going to be so hard to rocket jump. There we go. You just stand here with your pocket while your medic hides behind the shack. That could be viable in the event that your 4-man suicide gets their medic and a lot of picks too. Because chances are they're not going to push. And if they don't, or they don't seem to be, you need your pocket soldier to have sight lines so that you can tell a scout or whoever to go heavy as they're respawning, because you may as well at that point, really. And the other option that you can do is you can keep the scout alive as opposed to the pocket, and use both soldiers to jump, and you just have the scout stand on the shack, and his scattergun will deny most of the people jumping to the point. They'll be the first out, and particularly if the demo is the first guy on the point, that should be an easy fight for your scout. But yeah, that's just a rough, simple guide done very laggily on how to push Snakewater Last. The main thing is that if they've got Uber, you use your pocket to pop them, and then your demo hides back with scout protection, and then your roamer comes out of the other side eventually and just tries to delay or distract whatever's on that side. After the Uber, your pocket can die on the point to put cap time on it if you would like to preserve a scout. Or he can just go ahead and jump around like an idiot and try and do as much damage as he can before he dies with whatever amount of rockets he's got left. In the event that you... So we'll cover one more case. Their medic died defending second and yours didn't, so you've got Uber advantage. You want to spot their combo, either left or right, and you're going to bring all three of the people I discussed earlier, so Pocket, Demo, Scout, and the Pocket's going to jump into them. He's going to just try and damage as many people as he can. Focus targeting is not important for the Pocket in this situation. He's just going to try and put as much damage and hurt on people as he can. And that way they're not getting crit sealed. Your Demo is going to spam people, and your Scout's going to get a little bit of the Uber to chase the people that run away. So essentially what'll happen is your Pocket needs to say what he just shot as he's like either coming around, jumping here, rocketing, you know, more rockets. And once he says what he's hit, that Scout will just go after what he's hit until it's dead. And the Demo will be able to help with that. Another thing that you can do when you have Uber advantage, if they're on this side, is you can Uber a Scout first, get him through this trap, flip around, heal your Demo, and the Scout does a really good job of scaring them all back into this door. And then you just get on, you know, you have your Pocket jump onto the point, essentially, maybe with your other Scout, and that's a pretty easy win. If you've got Uber advantage and they're holding this side, then you're just going to want to try and get control of the shack with your Pocket and then drag your Scout in here to try to corral them with your Demo. And then your Roamer and other Scout would come from lower or the right side. The right side might be kind of hard, but lower could work. And you'll just try and bottle them up as you cap. This point's really hard to push when they have Uber, but it's not all that difficult to succeed when you've got Uber, as long as you stick together, play with your heals, and make sure that you're focusing down targets. It's effective and easy for on Uber versus no Uber. It's easy for the Pocket to call focus targets because he'll be the first in, unless you're doing what I call the Banny Uber from right side, where you've got your Scout and just Demo coming in. He'll call the focus targets. Any other time, it's usually easiest to have your Demo just demand that certain things die and have your people go along with it.